welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to another video and welcome to a 5-star prediction list video. I have done several of these in the past and I have not been very great about accomplishing them. However, I'm trying to turn that around. I have not finished my last 5-star prediction list by any means, but I figured my reading tastes have changed quite a bit, and there are definitely some ones that I want to talk about that I feel like could be full 5 stars for me that I just want to put out in a list video, and hopefully I can get to them sometime soon. Let me know down below if you also like putting together a 5-star prediction list and how good you are at getting those books checked off your list. I would love to talk to you guys about that in the comments below, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So I have 10 books here, and I'm going to start with the ones that I don't own so I don't forget them, but the first one that I'm going to talk about is A Broken Blade. This is a adult fantasy romance that I've heard really good things about. It blew up on TikTok under an anonymous author and then was picked up and published by a publisher, and I've heard really good things about it. That being said, I don't really remember anything about the synopsis of this book, but it just sounds like it's going to be something that is right up my alley. From what I remember of the synopsis, it gives me very much Throne of Glass vibes in regards to like the setup of the first book in the series. So I'm really curious to see if I'm going to love it as much as I do that series. And if not, I think that it'll still be a fun read overall. So hopefully I can get to that one. The next one that we have is a Frederick Bachman, and I feel like every time I do a 5-star prediction list, Frederick Bachman ends up on this list, and it's the one that I put off the most. So I chose a short one this time, and I chose And the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer. I think that is the title of this book. It is a short little novella. It's only like 30 pages, and I've heard really good things about this one. I've heard that almost everybody cries when they read it, and so I'm very interested to see how I'm going to feel about this one when I get to the end. I don't really know anything about it. I think it has to do with maybe Alzheimer's. I know it's an older gentleman and then a younger kid that are the main focus of the story, so I'm very interested to see what I think of it. But I have liked Frederick Bachman's work in the past, so I have high hopes for this one, and hopefully I love it. The next one that I put on my list is kind of like a surefire one that will probably get 5 stars because I've given almost all of her books that I have read so far a 5 stars, and that is none other than Taylor Jenkins Reid. And of course, I'm talking about Carrie Soto Is Back. This is her newest book that she has released in her kind of world that she has created, and I'm really interested to see how I'm going to like this one. This one does follow a tennis player, and from what I've heard, it is very revolved around tennis as a sport and the ins and outs of what it means and how it is to be a very high profile player in the sport in and of itself. I've heard really good things though. Everything that I've heard so far about this book has been positive, so I'm very curious to see what I think of this one. I have absolutely loved Daisy Jones and the Six, as well as Malibu Rising and The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, so I don't think this will be any exception. However, I am nervous that I'm not going to like this one as much since it is so sports focused, but hopefully that won't be the case and this will be a full 5 stars for me. I have high hopes. Hopefully it doesn't let me down. Okay, surprisingly, I have a memoir in here, and I don't read a lot of memoirs much anymore. I used to read a ton of them back when I first started reading, and I've kind of fell out of that, but this is one that I absolutely have to get to because I have heard literally nothing but good things. It is a bestseller. Everyone has been ranting and raving about it, and that is I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. I have literally heard people like shouting and raving from the rooftops about this particular book, and it's definitely one that I had on my radar before it came out, and now that it's out and everyone's loving it, I feel like I definitely need to jump on the bandwagon and read the damn book. This one follows Jeanette McCurdy's life as she's growing up as a young actor and the trials and tribulations that she had, but also the very tumultuous relationship that she had with her mother and how that affected her growing up and her experience as an actor, but as a person in and of itself. And I've just heard really good things. I've heard it's also a really hard read, has some really intense trigger warnings in there, so I am going in expecting those things, but I've also heard that it's so worthwhile, so I'm really looking forward to that one. Okay, everything else is books that I own, so let's go ahead and get into my physical books. The first one that I have here is Isn't It Romantic by Lisa K. Adams, the 4th book in the Romance Book Club series. The 5th book just got released, and that is a Christmas romance, so I definitely want to read this one before I get around to that one, just because I like to read them in order. I know this one follows Vlad, who we have seen throughout the entirety of the series. He's a very interesting and funny character. His story involves a marriage of convenience that happened many years ago, and he really wants this relationship to work, but it is very clear that this marriage is on the rocks and there's nothing more that they can do. But with the help of the Romance Book Club, they are going to come together to fix his relationship. I've heard interesting things about this particular book in the series, so I'm trying to keep my expectations low, but I have loved everything in the series so far, so I'm hoping this will be a 5 star for me. Sticking on the romance train, we have Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ricci. I have heard, again, nothing but good things about this particular series as a whole. There are a lot of books in the series that all interconnect in regards to their characters, and I have been intimidated to start it because I'm afraid that I'm going to get sucked in and need to read all the books in the series like ASAP. So that's why I've been putting it off, but I'm really interested to see how I'm going to feel about this one. But I believe that this one follows two addicts. She's addicted to sex, he's addicted to booze, and the only way out is rock bottom. So I've heard really good things about these two characters, and the kind of stepping stone and the solid foundation that it builds for the rest of the characters in the series. So I'm hoping that I can get to this one and love it. I have a few particular booktubers in mind that I think of when I think of this series, so hopefully I am on the same mindset and same track as them and absolutely love this one, and it's a full 5 stars for me. The next one that I picked is because I loved the author's debut novel, and that is Rachel Griffin, and I would love to read Wild as the Witch. This is her sophomore novel, and I've heard really good things about it so far. I've heard some mixed reviews, but I'm keeping my expectations really high for this one because I loved the nature of witches. I feel like her writing style is exactly what I'm looking for in a good atmospheric witchy book, and I'm hoping this one doesn't let me down. I don't really know the full synopsis of this one, but I know that it follows a witch who unleashes a curse in the form of an owl, and she goes on a journey to track down that owl before the curse gets loose and starts affecting the people of this town. So I've heard good things so far. I've heard some mixed reviews, but I'm curious to see what I'm going to think of it, and hopefully I end up loving it. Up next, we have a sequel to a series that I absolutely love and adore, and I have heard nothing but good things about this sequel, so I hope I love it too, and that is Amari and the Great Game, the sequel to Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. This one is such a fun series that gives me Men in Black vibes, but also Nevermore vibes, and I absolutely love Nevermore. This one is a series that I have absolutely loved so far. The first book follows Amari, whose brother has disappeared, and she gets a letter saying that she needs to check the briefcase in her brother's closet, and this briefcase leads her to a whole new world filled with magic and mysteries that involves her brother, but also the opportunity for her to learn more about magic and more about herself while she tries to track down where her brother went because he has been missing for several months. So I'm hoping that the sequel of this series gives me more, and I'm really looking forward to it. I have a lot of questions at the end of the first book, so hopefully this answers all my questions and gives me everything that I need from this sequel. Please, please, please be good because I have high, high hopes. It has been a while since I read a Marissa Meyer book, so it's about damn time I picked up another one of her books, and that is Gilded. Also because the sequel to this book has just come out or is coming out relatively soon, so I would really love to read this one before the sequel comes out so I can get caught up and be up to date with my series. I'm really trying to focus on series the next couple of months, so hopefully I can do that. But again, I don't really know what this book is about. I know it's a Rumpelstiltskin retelling, if I'm not mistaken, and it follows a girl who lies about her abilities to spin straw into gold, and it ends up getting her into trouble. I've heard really good things about it so far, but I'm definitely curious to see what I'm going to think of it. I have loved everything that I have read from Marissa Meyer in the past, so I'm hoping this is not the exception, but I do have high hopes for this one. And the last and final book that we're going to talk about is a pretty much no-brainer for me, and that is, of course, It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. Is anyone surprised it's on this list? No. Am I surprised? No. I have loved everything that I have read from Colleen Hoover in the past. Everything that I have read from her has gotten a full 5 stars, so I am not expecting this to be any exception to the rule here, and if it is, I'm going to be highly, highly disappointed. This is the much-awaited sequel to It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, following the two main characters that we followed in the first book, Lily and Atlas. Atlas is a person from Lily's past that they had a really intense relationship when they were younger and ended up disconnecting for some reason or another, and after the fallout of her relationship in It Ends With Us, we have the relationship of the two of them being rekindled, and I'm really excited to see what Colleen Hoover does with these two characters. We have had a lot of, hints and droppings of what could have been between the two of them, but I'm really excited for their relationship and their story and them getting the ending that they deserve. So hopefully Colleen Hoover doesn't let me down. I have high hopes for this one. I'm hoping that she does not disappoint, but I don't think that she will. Okay, this is my list of the 5-star predictions that I have for this round. Hopefully I can get to all of these and give them a full 5 stars. It would make me very happy if that was the case. I do also have, of course, a few that I don't own, but I'm hoping to get to those ones as well and love them. Let me know down below if you have read any of these books and what you thought of them. I would love to hear your thoughts. Also, let me know down below what your 5-star predictions are for this time of the year and what you're hoping to get to and absolutely love. But that is the end of this video. I really, really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a big O thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And of course, leave any comments, questions, and suggestions in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye. Baby, turn it down like a sweet and ready. Go slow, keep it nice and steady. Know that you've been